Hello, everybody. Today's topic, top QuickBooks time savers that you can implement in your business. So are you spending too much time in QBO? Good question, right? Well, as an aside, actually, this is the coolest clock picture I've ever seen. I had to use it. I don't know what the deal is with this thing. I don't even know how you would use it, but it's cool nonetheless. My name is Chris Servishon with SOAR, A Better Way CPA. Let's connect. Chris at betterwaycpa.com, phone number 843-608-0298. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Quora. As I mentioned before, I post there every single day, new content that you can't find on my blog, can't find it anywhere else, every single day. So follow me on those platforms. Feel free to reach out. If you have any questions as I'm going through this, by all means, ask away. I'd love to answer them in real time. So by all means, feel free to ask any questions that you have as I'm going through this. But what are we going to talk about? So the problem. So you're spending way too much time working on or in your business as opposed to on your business. So making your business better, that's working on your business. And part of the problem is that you're spending too much time in QuickBooks. Maybe you're not a QuickBooks expert. Maybe you're not an accountant. Just taking you too much time. It happens, right? So how do we fix that? Well, I'm going to give you 4 time-saving tips today. I'm going to walk you through those in QuickBooks Online in real time. So bank rules, I've covered those before, but that's absolutely my favorite way to create automation inside of QuickBooks and automate some of the classification of financial transactions in your business. Recurring transactions, that's like the next best thing. Basically what that is setting up transactions that recur month over month. So if you have things that are the same, that happens a lot in accounting and in business too. If you have customers that pay you the same amount, or if you have customers that you have to invoice the same amount month over month over month, recurring transactions could be a good thing for you. Favorite reports, and then bookmarking customized reports. So I'll take you through that, but basically that's a way to look at how your business is doing based on the financial reports in a way that you want to see them, and being able to access those reports quicker than you normally would if you had to make customizations every single time. So let's hop on over into QuickBooks. And I'm going to show you bank rules real quick. So here is Larry's Landscaping and Garden Supply. This is our buddy Larry. We can't seem to get rid of him. Keeps coming back, but Larry's our buddy, right? So bank rules. The banking tab over here on the left. And basically what you want to do with bank rules is create rules around data that's provided by the bank transaction. So if you think about when you get your bank or credit card statement and it tells you, like in the memo, what it's for, and it gives you an amount and it gives you a date, based on that data, you can fairly quickly figure out what a lot of those transactions are. So I went through this in another video, which I'll link to in the show notes, but you know, for instance, if you've got Dunkin' Donuts, there's a rule in here that says it's always going to be meals and entertainment. So if you're taking clients out to coffee, something like that, swiping your card, either your debit card or your credit card, it's going to come through the bank feed into QuickBooks. And then based on the description here, it says Dunkin' Donuts. The payee is Dunkin' Donuts. That's going to be your vendor. Well, then we're going to classify that as meals and entertainment. And I'll walk you through that specific rule right now. So we just go to the Rules tab, and right here where it says Food and Beverage, we'll go to Edit, and I'll show you exactly how this is set up. So the rule name is Food and Beverage. It's for money out. You'll see it right here at the top. This is for all bank accounts, but you can certainly select a particular bank account that you want that to apply to. If it's not going to apply to every account, which is a possibility for certain transactions. Now, when the bank text is exactly Dunkin' Donuts, what this is going to do is it's going to create an expense. The payee, in other words, the vendor, is going to be Dunkin' Donuts, and then the category, meaning the general ledger account, how it's going to show up on your P&L, your profit and loss statement, it's going to be meals and entertainment. So every single time. And then the cool thing is, if you notice down here at the bottom, we can select automatically add to my books. So there's 2 options here. Number 1, you can apply the rule. It'll classify it. You'll see it in the bank feed as having had a rule apply to it, and it'll show you where it's going to get coded. But if you'd rather just skip that step altogether, you're entirely confident that Dunkin' Donuts is always going to be meals and entertainment for you in your business. You check that box at the bottom. It says automatically apply to my business, and then it will just send it right to your P&L without you having to actually do any sort of manual review. So just a little bit of a time saver. I'll go ahead and cancel out of this. And you know, if you want to create rules like that, the way to do it, just go up here to New Rule under the Rules tab. You'll see it right here. And you know, it's fairly straightforward, pretty easy to walk through. By all means, if you have questions, you know, send me a note or reply back on this video, and I would be happy to answer those. So next up, we're going to talk about recurring transactions. Now, these are things, like I said, that happen all the time, month after month. They're consistent. The vendors or customers are consistent. The amounts are consistent. The type of transactions are consistent. That's when you're going to want to use recurring transactions. A really good example of that is if you have an asset in your business, a piece of equipment, something like that, that's going to be depreciated over the course of its life. If it's going to be a straight line type depreciation, meaning it's going to be depreciated the same amount month over month until it hits, you know, zero, or the entirety of its basis has been depreciated, then you could use a recurring transaction for that. Like a lot of times, folks will go to their accountant, CPA, and they'll get depreciation done at the end of the year in order to get it done for the tax return. So that amount is not sitting in your books for the entire year. So it's a non-cash transaction, so you know you still get a good view of how your business is performing from a cash perspective. But you know, if you want to know how you're doing from an accrual perspective, you need to have that depreciation in there on a consistent basis. And so recurring transactions are a good way to do that. Now, the way to set those up, you go up here to this gear icon, and where it says recurring transactions, we're going to click on that. And you'll see this is a demo company, so there's a number of recurring transactions that are already set up in here. But I'll walk you through real quick how you create one. So if you go to new, and let's just say we were going to do that depreciation, we would do it as an expense. And click OK. And temp name, we'll call it depreciation. And then this will be scheduled. We will create 0 days in advance. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't want to do an expense. That is a cash type transaction. So we'll do it as a journal entry. So the template name is going to be depreciation, be scheduled 0 days in advance. We're going to post it on 28th of the month. How about that? And the start date will be 01/28/2019, so this month. And we'll end it, say, after, I don't know, 36 months. So let's just say we have some software that we're depreciating, 3-year asset, 36 months. So we would debit depreciation. Let's see if we have an account set up for that yet. Depreciation. We will credit accumulated depreciation. Let's see if we have that account. You would have thought that I would have checked this before I started. We do not. So let's do accumulated depreciation. Oh, there it is. For a truck. Close enough. And let's just say it's $1,000 every month. And in the description, we'll put depreciation, recurring entry. Copy that, paste it. Both lines will have that. We'll save the template. We don't want to put anything in the memo, but this transaction will happen every single month for 36 months, and it'll hit the P&L for $1,000. So we'll go ahead and save that template. But that's, I mean, it's that easy, right? I mean, you can do this for anything that's going to recur on an ongoing basis. And you saw, I mean, we can do it for however many periods we need to do it for. Really powerful as far as automating your data entry and classification and things like that with the bank rules as well. So those two things are really, really powerful. Now, from a reporting perspective, I'll show you cool things there. Some cool things there. So we'll go to reports. Now, right up here up top, these are the favorites. And here's the way that I like to lay this out. accounts payable aging, accounts receivable aging, both the detail, not the summary, balance sheet, and then the profit and loss by month. These are the reports that I like to look at every single month, generally in that order. I like to look at the AP, the AR, the balance sheet, and the profit and loss. If the AP and the AR, if I look at those and there's something weird that needs to be fixed or adjusted, or say we have some unapplied receivables or payables, something like that, that's going to affect the balance sheet and potentially the P&L. So what we want to do is take care of those first, make sure that those are good to go. Do a review to make sure that there aren't any old outstanding items that we need to follow up with customers on, or that we need to get vendors paid. That's the worst thing, right? Is not paying, not having forgotten to pay a vendor. Don't want to do that. So that's why we look at that report every single month. What's missing here is the cash flow statement. I don't really like the cash flow statement in QuickBooks Online, to be honest with you. And I generally tell my clients that you should have some sort of a cash flow forecast as well, which should be built outside of QuickBooks, usually built into a dashboard. So, I would kind of look at that from that perspective. But that cash is certainly important to look at as well. If you follow my Quora channel, you'll see that I've posted a lot of content on there about how you need to be mindful of your cash balance and your cash forecast and things like that. So check those posts out. But just to get back to it, these are how I would lay this out. And the way that you get these up here into your favorites so you can see them all the time is with that star. So if we go to business overview, click the star next to balance sheet, you'll see that'll move it right up top. Okay. And so we'll do that with profit and loss by month. And then we will also do that with the accounts receivable aging detail, not the summary, because we want to see it by client. We want to see by invoice by client. The summary will just give you by client, which is helpful, but not as much, because we want to know those specific invoices. And then accounts payable aging detail. So now if we go back up here, we'll see those are the 4 reports saved in our favorites. All we got to do is click this reports tab and it'll show them right there. So we can access them pretty quickly. So that's time-saving tip number 3. Time-saving tip number 4, I've got a report saved up here in my bookmarks. You'll see that in this top tab, this bookmarks tab up here at the top of my Chrome window. And if I click it, it will take you to a P&L by month. That is for the last calendar year. You'll see these customizations up here. And then we want to see it by months. So this is not the standard view for the P&L by month report. But this is the way that I want to look at it. I want to look at it this way every single time. So how do I do that? I bookmark it. Now, if I wanted to create a report that was maybe the last calendar year for the balance sheet by month, so I could see month over month change and maybe identify any problem areas that I see. Well, what I would do is see this is the default setting last month for December 2018. But I want to look at it for the calendar year. So we'll go down here, we'll do this drop down last calendar year. We're going to want to look at it by months, or at least I do anyway. And then I will run the report and see it gives me a balance sheet by month for the last calendar year. Now, what I will do is I will go ahead and I will bookmark that and bookmark this page, click done. And then when I go and I order my bookmarks, I'll go ahead and I'll pull this all the way up to the top. So it's the second report I see. Just to show you that it works, I'll go back here to the overview for Larry's Landscaping. And it is this bookmark, this third bookmark that we just created right here. Click that and it'll give you a balance sheet by month for the last calendar year. So pretty cool, right? So those are my favorite 4 time-saving tips. Bank rules, recurring transactions, favorite reports, and then bookmarking customized reports so that you can access those quickly and easily when you're doing your financial analysis for your business. So I will take you back to the PowerPoint, and that's what we went through, those 4 things. By all means, if you have any questions, put them in the comments in the YouTube video. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, please like and share it. That helps me to grow my audience, helps me to grow my business. So I really appreciate that. And by all means, check out the other videos I have up there, as well as the Quora channel, I think, and my blog. I think you'll find all of those things to be pretty informative if you're into this kind of stuff, or if you're trying to do the accounting or bookkeeping for your own business. So again, let's connect. ChrisABetterWayCPA.com, 843-608-0298. That's how you call me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and again, Quora. By all means, please follow me on those channels. I would love to interact with you on social. So that's it for me. Until next time, have a great week.